All right. Good evening. Welcome. We are on almost the end of Speedgaming Online 2024 for Link to the Past Randomizer Online. Winners of semifinals already. These guys are like 2 games away, basically, from winning the entire thing. And what better to watch than relkin and Telethar, 2 amazingly good runners, especially in spoiler. Should be a really, really great time. I'm joined with me is Skelly, also an amazing runner himself. Of course, tracking with is the lovely and talented Lady Lorelinda. Skelly, you might know one or two things about these guys, huh?
Yep. Yeah, so this is a pretty insane matchup. And it's really cool because they're both very talented. I think they also have kind of distinct skills from each other in terms of spoiler.
Oh, yeah.
Because relkin is insanely fast at low percent. He has really, really, really good execution in spoiler. Whereas Telethar, like he also has very good execution, but he's more like the brains of Rando, I think. Like he has maybe the best routing skills in the whole community, so it's going to be kind of like brains versus brawn, but don't get me wrong, they're both very good at execution, very good at routing.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, now we did have a category reset in Link to the Past recently, so I really can't like tell you just how insanely, like highly rated these guys are, because right now they have nothing to their names. However, just take our word for it that they are amazing. We will say, historically speaking, we are actually looking at 2 league champions as well. So relkin actually won last year's league, and Telethar, I believe, was part of the winning team the year before. So, again, they have titles to their name. relkin and Telethar both actually participated last year in 2023 SGL Online. relkin got a little bit farther than Telethar, got knocked out in the, I think, like losers round 5, like losers, like semifinals or something like that. Losers, yeah, one of those. Last 4 standing, and I think they're. I mean, now look at them, right? Like 1 year later, they're here in the winter semis, ready to take each other down.
Yep.
We have 2 different starts already.
Yeah.
I was not expecting this at all, actually.
Yeah, let's see how they play this. We both had some time to look at the log, so we have a pretty good idea of where things are. But one thing has a lot of nuance to it when you're routing in spoiler is how do you start? Because you need to find like bombs or money somewhere. And it looks like they both have 2 separate ideas of how they want to handle that.
Yeah, and especially so, right, so kind of the premise of a solo spoiler for this particular setting is that you get a 15-minute study period. That's kind of what the slight broadcast delay was. So they get 15 minutes in this case to kind of look at the log, try and figure out what there was. And you didn't actually potentially mention Telethar being one of the best routers or pilots of the game. I'm certainly expectations are quite high for both relkin and Telethar. I mean, you can't get here, just based on luck. Like, spoiler is rewards merit extremely heavily here.
Absolutely. This is like the one format of Link to the Past randomizer where the best person will win most often. Like, like even the best players can have a death somewhere and still lose, but it's a lot rarer to have upsets than in just like regular rando without spoiler.
Oh yeah, I mean, you're talking about. By the way, I mean, I think Telethar has already actually like given yourself a great like proof by example. I think here. So okay, he found the sword in the damn chest, right? Also got Samaria while he was here. He used the prize pack knowledge, and it might be actually a little bit more of a gamble because prize packs only drop, I think, 50%. He got a bomb off of the guard. So he used the 1 bomb of Mini Moldorm. This is not what I expected whatsoever. But I mean, this is just exactly how creative you can be.
Yeah, is he? Let's see where he's
going
next. Okay, he's gonna swim. All right.
Yeah,
because we do have something at Ice Ride Cave too, and I was wondering like, oh, maybe are we gonna farm like another bomb somewhere somehow? I don't know. Prize packs are normally like beyond my smooth brain understanding of this. So.
Oh yeah, well maybe we can go to Ice Rock Cave later. Like I know there's a flute out there, so we definitely know we're gonna get a flute. Myers a crystal, thanks to Lady Lorelinda, marking all of our prizes for us because we're definitely not gonna get a map check from these guys. But yeah, but you can actually see. So I guess right. So Telethar also, like, when he does pilot spoiler, one of the things that he, especially for openings, like, he really tries to avoid Kakariko, as in, because more often than not, right, like, all roads do eventually lead to Kakariko, but like, if you don't have a flute, you don't have something, you would probably want to go there to go activate the flute, and so if you can kind of try and put that off, give yourself a little bit of extra time, it's definitely more power to you. And I think it's actually probably sounds like, since we have the flute, we have the pearl, and then we also saw Relkin pick up both gloves in Kakariko. Like, he might just go to Dark World from here.
So
maybe
one interesting thing to note: Relkin already has the hook shot, but he still I'm not sure if he missed it or maybe he just like realized that he forgot. But he could have single dipped the dam using the block whip, which Telethar, I mean, he didn't have hook shot yet, so he couldn't have done that. So that potentially could have been an advantage for Relkin, but he missed it, unfortunately.
Yeah, it's it's not going to be the end of the world in order to make especially in the early game. You do have a lot of time to make up. But I kind of as you said earlier, like, spoiler, there's not going to be a lot of like buffer time, especially if you're facing somebody like Relkin or Telethar. Like, there's like the time that you're going to give up to your opponent is just going to be very, very difficult to kind of claw back. And then it can actually eventually get to a point where maybe things do happen in low percent stuff, but if you're kind of banking on your opponent to make a mistake or a little more costly, it's just gonna be that much harder for you to overcome. You're gonna see, and so Relkin also, so he does have some extra bombs from Kakariko, so he does have the option of going to Ice Rock Cave. We also do, by the way, seeing both that Relkin and Telethar demonstrated, regardless of how good you are, swimming is the hardest mechanic of the game. Both of them kind of getting stuck on the little like rock pebble in the middle of the water. It is never fun.
Yeah. Whenever you hit anything when you're swimming, you just like screech to a halt, and it takes forever to get going again. It's terrible.
All right, we're gonna see, again, a little bit of a difference here. Relkin, going to Kakariko the first time, getting his resources, going to Mini Moldorm, and then eventually Waterfall. Telethar, again, he basically the time difference, right, so far is that Relkin literally started his sync, walk to Kak, whereas Telethar was already in Kakariko, going to Dark World. So yeah, like, just the fact that he was able to, delay Kakariko the first time. We're here, you got that time saved.
Yeah, and Relkin has that hook shot too from Saha.
Oh, true. That's
he did earlier, which is an interesting choice because we do have to go back to Eastern eventually.
Nobody gets lucky in chess game. It's disappointing. Although I do see in this case, we're gonna go and rush the most important item of the game. We already see Telethar. No Mirror. Mirror is in fact, unfortunately, pretty late, but we actually do see. Oh my god! Visually, we love the bird. We actually don't. Maybe that's why. The bird is displayed very commonly when you're upset, especially in like cars or something, But here we are. We're gonna go and get our red shoes, which Relkin is very, very closely behind, on Telethar's heels. And then we can actually go play the game.
Yep. Rushing boots as fast as possible is almost always the optimal route in spoiler, as it turns out.
Yeah, more often than not. I mean, like, there are definitely going to be, times where rushing boots is, may not be, like, optimal. Just because, like, if you try and rush boots, maybe you leave too many other things behind, or you have to go double dip places, or whatnot. But, I mean, more often than not, it's just definitely going to be the right choice. Boots you can make up a lot of time with boots as well, because if walking to places, especially in the overworld, is actually, oh my gosh, dude, pretty costly. Oh, okay. See, this is when spoiler is this, like, regardless of how good you are, Dark World enemies do not discriminate. They will crush you and the little health that you have.
Okay, this is interesting. Telethar, as soon as he got the boots, decided to just head east to Pod, which is Pennant Pod. We don't need to finish it. In fact, our trip in here is going to be very brief. But Relkin decided to save quit.
Yeah, so, looks like Relkin's upped. Yeah, I think this is actually extremely interesting in terms of like Divergence, because they have the same information, they have the same 15-minute study period, right? And just you know, it even goes to show, even when you know where all the items are, you can just get like extreme amounts of divergence.
Oh yeah, good shout from Jesse in chat. Relkin didn't have pod money
yeah.
yet, so wasn't really an option for him there, but Relkin's gonna end up rescuing Old Man here. Telethar, spoiler alert, he's about to find the flute, so he's never gonna have to do that.
Ooh, very excellent point. Yeah, the Old Man is surprisingly lengthy. I mean, like, obviously we're going through like basically two, you know, like cave screens, right? Also, you know, going up and going to Death Mountain Ascent, like to begin with. We do get a heart container out. Oh, it's even Sig Heart, okay, for our troubles. We'll see. In this case, maybe that heart can actually make a difference. But yeah, it's going to be a good amount of time save for Telethar if he doesn't have to go rescue Old Man.
Yeah, Relkin will recuperate like a little bit of time back, maybe by gonna save quit back to the mountain. But I mean, it's not nearly gonna compensate for all the extra screens you have to take.
Yeah, well, you do bring up a good point though. Like the save and quit point, to like that's at Old Man is potentially like useful. If you, especially for like end game, that's going to be one. It's going to be slightly faster for you to save and quit to Old Man to go up the mountain, you know, versus like mirroring somewhere and then like fluting back or you know whatever. All right, we're gonna get flute activated. We do need that flute. And speaking of flute and boots, we are going to get to Ice Rod Cave. Well, it's not going to get any faster than this, so...
Yep. We were speculating earlier that maybe they could have done it, but it definitely makes the most sense to just delay it until you have all the mobility possible, because the fire rod here wasn't actually useful for anything up until this point.
Yeah, it certainly does look like it. Like, we haven't set foot... Sorry, okay, let me get it back. We have set foot in a dungeon. We have not had to fight anything major, or even like minor in a dungeon. So yeah, like as you mentioned, what we really probably wanted was in this case like the high priority is mobility, which is, you know, boots and flutes, and then of course sword was pretty nice, but you really just need one because, you know, again, you're not really killing things. You just gotta make sure that you just don't get killed. So one sword is more than sufficient. Oh no, Relkin's hook shot is a little rusty. Everything's fine.
At least he makes it through the second clip, which is much more punishing if you mess that one up.
Yes.
So interesting, Relkin did go into Paradox Cave just to get a lot of comfort items that aren't strictly required. So he got his silvers, and he got 2 hearts, and he got powder, and he got armor. So he is currently sitting on 8 hearts with blue mail, which is more health than you usually ever see in spoiler.
Yeah,
and he has powder.
And he has powder. This is, I mean, honestly, every single seed I've seen so far, like in this tournament, it's always been like, well, where's my 4th heart container? Okay, I guess we're gonna get one at the top of GT. And so at least I won't be on 3 hearts when I go to Ganon. This is like super luxury, right? I mean, this is almost as if like you basically just playing the seed blind, you know, just like full clearing everything, like every location you're going to, and then you have this like endgame, you know, stuff, right? Like, you know, you have blue mail, silvers, you probably get tempered somewhere along the way and like, you know, 8 or 9 hearts. It's like Telethar's gonna do the same thing?
Yeah, it looks like it. That's interesting, because you could totally skip this. The Bombos is not required, by the way. I mean, we could use it on Cold Stare if we want to. But like silvers do save time, or they give you time back, at least, for a lot of boss fights. I mean, not to mention Ganon. Plus, having the extra safety is just, it's going to allow you to play faster because you can be more aggressive. So you also get time back in that way too.
Yeah, that's definitely very true. And maybe it kind of depends like on maybe like what their offensive equipment is like. Especially compared to swords, like I do see that Meyer is a crystal. I don't actually know when they're gonna go get their tempered sword. I didn't really actually plan the route out, but like if they are, let's say a master sword. I mean, even thing if they're not untempered, silver's gonna probably give you some time back as well, right? Especially doing we have 0 crystals beaten. So since we have all 7 of them available to us, you are going to save time somewhere, right? Armos, Helma. The shooter room, the list goes on. Yeah, actually, yeah, okay. So Jamo and some other people here in chat, because you could bring up maybe like why Telethar didn't go to Eastern. That is also a good question. I did kind of expected him to, but we don't have a mirror, right? So, mirror is very buried. So I'm gonna assume that maybe we didn't want to do Eastern then?
Yeah,
Or
I mean,
or we're
so
saying we're
he
doing
did go
Eastern
to
first?
Saha. He did go to Saha to get the hook shot. So like that could have been the time to do it right there. Oh, I guess now he's going. On
What
this
is
trip,
Eastern?
that doesn't save that much time, to be honest, but it does save a bit of time.
Yeah. If you in this case, if we go to Saha, we didn't have a flute, right? Yeah. So I think maybe we wanted a flute to this area instead of running over here. Yeah. Well, hopefully it'll just come out in the wash.
Yeah.
We do actually have a very comfy cape. That's also kind of like the nice thing about having boots, in Bumper Ledge. You're guaranteed to get the cape. I think you mentioned the half magic. It was also somewhere accessible, maybe late game, but I mean, that's another luxury item that more often than not you're not going to be able to get because it's just usually even things that are maybe even like 1 or 2 screens away is just like not viable.
Yeah, there's honestly like a lot of free comfort items in the seed. It's a pretty good, or let's say comfy seed to play for sure.
I mean, this is definitely not your like expert level seed, right? This is if you're willing to give the seed maybe to someone who kind of is like trying out spoiler, don't just throw them up in the deep end. Like that's actually like a pretty nice. This was a pretty nice seed to start out with. You get an early sword, you get relatively early boots, right? They're just in Bumper Cave. You have Mid Starkwold access, but you can go get the cape from Feast Town and the Bumper Ledge immediately. You can go get a flute pretty quickly. And you have what do we see? We had 2 hearts in Kakariko, right? Or sorry, 2 hearts mini Moldrum Cave, and then blue mail, 2 more hearts in Paradox plus powder. Like it's it's very very nice.
Yeah, I mean sometimes
and silvers.
Not often, but we have seen in this tournament people finishing with 3 hearts total. Or okay, at least one person has done it. I don't know if multiple people have done it. But so having like nearly a full row of hearts is definitely a luxury, especially when you didn't have to go out of your way at all to get them.
Oh yeah, yeah. And honestly, if we were already down, as you mentioned, right? And going to Paradox, we didn't maybe technically need anything in Paradox. However, the silvers were there on Paradox bottom, and so those already probably are very much worth your investment. You probably actually they're probably even could be net positive in terms of time gain. And then like literally just 1 screen north, you have so much safety and so much risk mitigation. Is just like it's really really good. We did see actually a missed flute from Telethar. Looks like we wanted to go to the village. Shake the little things off, even though I think a missed flute is actually a little bit more costly than you might be willing to admit to yourself. I mean, so like, normally, especially for spoiler, everything is kind of exacerbated just sort of like time loss. But like, mirror bonk is like 4 seconds. Or sorry, like 1 mirror transition is like 4 seconds, right? So mirror bonk is almost like 10. It's almost 10 in order to, for you to kind of get back to your location. A flute is like, I don't know, like 4-ish seconds or something like that, 4 or 5. And so if you miss flute, not only do you have to go and like reactivate the flute or like redo the flute, you have to wait a little bit as well. Right? Because it doesn't come immediately, and so it's just like
yeah. It's a big deal for spoiler for sure. Like we've seen races finish with a single-digit margin of victory.
Yeah.
So things like that can absolutely be the difference between a win and a loss, even though it seems so minor.
And yeah, exactly. You're just like, it's just like one thing, or it's like you accidentally. And again, this is gonna be a little bit more nitpicky, but it's like you accidentally go to like you open a chest you didn't need to, for example. Well, that's like 1 second. Maybe you go to maybe you went to an extra screen, like you went, oh crap, I didn't mean to go to chicken house. Let me get out. One going in and out is is 5 like screen transitions 3 seconds, right? it's a lot. All these little things add up, and you don't really have like the ice rod hunt. Where is this thing? And hopefully I find it before my opponent. Kind of variance at the end. You just literally just going, right? So, which also makes this, especially from a viewer's perspective, very exciting to watch because it's just like you don't really like the margins are just so tight, and so you really just kind of get to see like what which runner gets rewarded for their decisions and their focus. So.
And there's our master sword for relkin. Of course, sword upgrades don't really help in Thieves Town. So it's kind of nice to be able to route that in after Thieves Town like that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Swords make a big difference in the long run. It's just like Thieves Town is the one exception where it really doesn't matter at all.
That's a little interesting that, so relkin got the flute, but I guess we couldn't really do much to combine like Thieves Town, and we are getting money. Do we need what are we getting money for? Did we already do chess game? I thought we did chess game
because he has silvers. That's where a bow was. What is this? I don't know what this is. I mean, we do have to do...
Oh, we need Pyramid Fairy money?
We do need Pyramid Fairy money.
Is this where we're getting our Pyramid Fairy money? I think I guess this is where we're getting our Pyramid Fairy money. Is this really the best source of money? I didn't really look at like some of the other, like I didn't look for like the rupee cores were and stuff.
Yeah, I'm looking right now. We have a 300 on library. That seems pretty accessible. Like even if as an isolated check, I think that's probably still faster? Than 5 dips into that cave. Yeah,
like, and I think like what's expensive is like the actual dipping into the cave. Like we can even flute to the 50 rupee cave, right? That might be
that's true.
Almost worth it.
Yeah, I guess the difference is we had to go to Ice Rod Cave anyway for Fire Rod.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, so I guess I'm kind of curious. Which actually, I guess this means the 5-6 is going to come up relatively soon. What was the other? So we have Eastern and we have Ice Palace. So those. So is there really no money?
I mean, there's really... the Rupee Room in Eastern. That's an option.
Yeah.
Right? We could do that.
Yeah. So right there's, and then I'm just thinking like, so Rockets could do Skullwoods now. We probably like. I assume there's going to be nothing that's going to drop from Mothula, but like we have Swamp and Ice and Eastern like to do. Is there just really no money anywhere?
Well, we can't do Swamp before Pyramid Fairy.
Oh right, that's true. That's true.
But yeah, there are other options.
Oh, Meyer and I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. I think I just misread the tracker then. Okay. Thank you, Lady Lorlinda, for correcting me. Okay, I guess we're gonna see where Telethar gets his money from.
Yeah, well, he's already most of the way there at least. He just needs 34, right? Yep, 34.
Yes, 34. Yes. See, math like becomes 10 times harder on stream. Like live somehow for some reason than like any other situation. But I guess I'm kind of curious now to see like where Telethar ended up getting money. He got, I know, 120 rupee extra from like the bird or something when he jumped down from Mini Moldorm. Oh no, relkin. Oh my gosh. Okay, he definitely wanted a health refill from the fairy. He should still be okay. Based on this. He does have a hammer. He has blue mail, which can mitigate some damage. But yeah, Telethar certainly going into like contrasting. He has probably a lot more. He play with a lot more. Play more cavalierly, because he has like health to burn.
Relkin is on blue mail, so he can take 2 hits, even from Mothula, where normally a Mothula hit would kill him. And yeah, that was still a good fight.
Yeah, that was really well done. Nice bottle.
Yeah, another nice safety. I mean, bottles by itself, normally you have to go like buy a potion or something, which costs time to fill it up. But in this case, we had the bug net in Link's house. I know Telethar grabbed it. I don't know if Relkin actually did, but like that's pretty much free. So you can get fairies really easily if you wanted to.
Yeah, and I think I've also heard people say that like the fairy in the bottle is the best safety you'll never use, because you always know that you're going to get if you die, the fairy will just revive you, so you can literally just play as aggressive as you want because you just have the fairy there, right? And if you don't die, you don't die, and then you can always have the fairy for your next fight. So
yeah, you'll end up actually going faster probably.
Yes. That's right. All right, got a little bit of extra. Okay, a little bit more divergence. Looks like relkin's just can do a little bit of cleanup on Eastern Palace. I don't think there was anything over here that was worthwhile. As in, like, we're just here for the crystal.
Yeah, I think at this point the order of doing dungeons is pretty arbitrary. I mean, we need Pyramid Fairy for Mirror to get Swamp, and then obviously you want to do Turtle Rock last. So aside from that, like, they have all the progressive items they need, so they can kind of just do it in whatever order they want.
Oh, did you happen to see where Ice Rod is? I don't think I checked that. And I do see them missing it.
It's in Mire.
Oh, okay.
So they'll get it.
Yeah, so just literally on the way. See, what do people complain about all the time when you do, when they go for Ice Rod Hunt? Just go to the dungeons where the stuff is, okay?
Yeah.
That's so easy.
I like that Hammer Dash strat from Telethar, by the way. That one's really cool. It only really works if you've hit the switch, because you need those Pen Gators to be dead, otherwise they're in your way. And actually, so in between doing that room the first time and the second time, you don't make any super tile transitions, so the Pen Gators are still dead. It's just a swag little strat.
Yeah, Telethar, I think, was actually one of the people who actually came up with that strat, and then he also, I think, maybe with Gem, I want to give both of them some credit, and they came up with a relatively more sillier strat to do with Master Sword. You can think you can bomb a couple Pen Gators dead or something, so that you can also Hammer Dash later with only the Master Sword. I mean, all of this stuff, it's just all little, time saves, that, just like you can incrementally, lose time, you can incrementally gain time, if you can pull these things off.
Yeah, that stuff adds up. It adds up way more than anyone realizes until you've been playing this game for thousands of hours.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the thing, too. Right? And this is more prevalent probably in, speedrunning, NMG stuff, and because from room to room, right, the Brow is going to be the exact same, right? So room to room, you're going to kind of see some execution differences, and especially with higher level players, for example, relkin, extremely talented. You compare it maybe to someone who has a less experience, or has a slower PB. It's if you watch one or two rooms, you really maybe can't tell much difference from movement, and then you see the difference after, let's say, 10 or 15 rooms, and you're just how did this person get 5 seconds ahead of me? When you're when everything just kind of looks very similar, and then suddenly you just realize the movement is while it's very nuanced, it's also very good and clean, and that's how people get to gain time over each other.
So throwback to that the play into Paradox Cave that both these guys did. In addition to all those safeties and silvers we talked about, they also got bombos from there. I didn't realize till now that it's actually impossible to have more than Tempered Sword, or sorry, more than Master Sword for Cold Stare. The other two swords are both locked by Cold Stare. So that bombos is actually really helpful because they can use that to break the shell and then use Fire Rod strats for the rest of the fight. I mean, technically that is still possible without bombos if you do duping with sword beams, but who knows if you'll actually have sword beams by the time you get there.
Yeah, that's also a great point.
Heads up play to get that bombos.
I have also heard, especially from runners in Pilot Spoiler, is this enough for Ice Palace? Relkin. Oh, he needs the small key. Oh no.
Yeah.
Even something like this, actually is non-trivial in terms of time cost. It is because so Relkin got all the way to Spike Chest, right, and then he had to go back. And not only that, he has to go back, he has to go upstairs, and then he has to go, hammer the thing and go back down. Stair transitions are even more expensive, too. You can kind of see in this case, Relkin, certainly not very happy, with, in this case, minor misroutes. But I mean, again, these things do add up. We're gonna see in this case, how, after the dust settles, I guess on our way to Turtle Rock in this case, before we're going to go up the mountain, kind of what the time difference is.
Yeah, I think what probably happened there from Relkin is I think he must have just misread the log. He thought that was a small key in Spike Chest, in which case that would have actually saved time versus getting the key under the rock.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's probably what happened there.
That makes sense. By the way, so Telethar's still at 66 rupees. I am curious to see still where he is getting his money from.
Relkin opting not to use bombos, just using Fire Rods for phase 1 and then Master Sword Hammer for phase 2.
Yeah, this
But
is he
it made
does a blue
phase
buff.
1 faster, but phase 2 a lot slower, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it could have been faster. It is just harder.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, so part of the benefit, I think, of using being able to use the fire rod shots is like you not only get obviously like more damage per hit, but you also can get the splash damage. So you can kind of hit like multiple puffs at once, as opposed to like, I mean, yeah, you can get sword beam, you can do sword spins and hit multiple puffs at once, but you know, as we're kind of seeing like on Relkin's fight, like versus like maybe like versus Telethar's, it was definitely a lot harder or a lot slower in order to get all of the puffs together. Because when they separate, that's just when you're very sad.
Yep. And Telethar, when he did that fight, this is a subtle thing a lot of people don't know, but he knocked the puffs into the top left corner. It is substantially easier to get splash damage from the fire rod in the top left corner versus the top right corner.
Is it
So
really? Really?
It is
I'm
way
learning?
easier. It is way, way easier.
I
A lot of
feel
people
like-
just hit him in the top right corner because that's what you do for tempered strats. But for fire rod strats, you should always do the top left.
what's the significance of the top left then? Like as opposed to, because they literally just looks like the exact same, right? Left versus right?
Yeah, I don't understand why. That's just how it is. I think the splash damage from fire rod shots is just programmed very strangely, or something.
That's so. It's very interesting. I mean, I definitely believe you. It's just like, I mean, because there are a lot of like really like interesting quirks about this game, but that is definitely one. Okay, I'm going to remember that for next time.
And so it looks like Telethar has a bit of a lead here. They've pretty much all done the same stuff as each other by now. It's just Telethar's a little bit ahead, having already finished Mire, I think.
Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, and Relkin still has to go through, you know, kind of as you see, Telethar can take a little bit more of a detour, just like Relkin is doing here, because we still need the Ice Rod. So even though, like, the big key is in Spike Chest, we still have to kind of go all the way around and go get the Lobby Chest for Ice Rod. Now, one thing, I guess this is where Telethar's gonna go get his money for Pyramid Fairy. Yeah, so, yeah, that was probably one major time sink that Relkin had, was that he needed, Pyramid Fairy money, and then he farmed the 20 rupee cave next to Ice Rod Cave, and so that was 5 times in. By the way, you say something about a fairy that would be really nice to have right now.
She'll be fine, I believe.
We have trust.
Yeah, I mean that hype cave dip that also did cost some time. So it's not like it was completely free compared to dipping 20 rupee cave. But Telethar did get a nice extra heart container from that. Not that he's really like short on health, but that's some nice compensation for doing that. Yeah. And it was pretty on the way to Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah. That's definitely true. So hype cave, it's surprisingly like farther than you might expect. As in like, this is a great beat. Let me tell you. Because like Hype Cave is actually one whole screen like away from where you are, because you actually have to do a whole screen transition, and then inside Hype Cave, right, you have the NPC, and then you have to bomb the back in order to get to like the last 4 chests. So it's more time than you might think it is, because you're just like, oh, it's Hype Cave, it's 5 items, of course, like, and then you gotta wait for 2 bomb explosions, right, and then all the screen transitions. Now that being said, though, it is definitely not far enough away where if there is stuff in there that even for safeties, it's probably still worth it. Kind of just depends on what you are, what you have. Yeah, I was also gonna say, like, so Relkin. I mean, I think another thing that Relkin did was rescue the old man. That gave him like his extra heart container, because he didn't go to Hype Cave. But like that's also something that Telethar didn't end up doing, because he just got the flute early and then fluted up to the mountain.
Oh yeah, I forgot that gave Relkin a heart. And we are in our penultimate crystal dungeon now for Telethar, Swamp Palace. We're basically, well, we are in go mode. We will find a tempered sword at some point, and a half magic.
Yes.
So this is going to be a pretty comfy end game for both of them.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. They both ended up having the lamp as well. Right. I think the lamp was in Super Bunny, right?
Lamp was in Super Bunny, and you had to go through Super Bunny to get the
Yeah,
hammer. So it
yeah.
was pretty much free.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we also did see like Relkin and Telethar also pick up the full magic as a refill as well. Very nice to be able to have just like a full magic bar. With, I mean, that's just good for anything. So, no. Yeah, just also kind of looking at Relkin and Telethar's resources. I mean, right now, I don't think we care too much about bombs anymore. We'll probably at least want one more, like, you know, going up GT. That would be kind of nice. But of course, it's not required because you can always just get another one from, I think, like a pod or something. But we're just mainly looking for arrows at this point, and we've already gone through like the arrow heavy or the, you know, like the quiver heavy bosses like Vitreous and Armos, so I think we'll still be fine.
Yeah, with silvers, like you don't need that many anymore. Plus, they'll have half magic, so they can use the fire rod pretty liberally on the climb instead of arrows if they want to conserve those.
Actually, so okay, I didn't actually see what Telethar ended up doing after Pyramid Fairy. So Relkin's running back to Swamp. Do you think is this fast? Do you think this is fast? I didn't time anything.
Telethar mirrored and fluted, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Or maybe safe code actually is faster. But yeah, I don't know off the top of my head what is faster. It's an interesting choice though. I wouldn't have thought to do this from Relkin's side.
Same. But that doesn't mean that it's not slower, like, or sorry, it's not faster, because
it might be better. It's like,
yeah,
it's just not something you normally see.
Yeah. Typically speaking, like, you want to do Swamp into Pyramid Fairy because, well, like, you could just run from Swamp to go to Bomb Shop and then you go to Pyramid, right? But in this case, like, and that's kind of like more of a required route because you have to deliver the bomb to Pyramid. But the harder part is like you gotta go with the pegs and you gotta go back down and yeah. But like Relkin's route, like, that does save all of the going back into Light World and Dark World again. I mean, so like that in itself is actually like a really nice time save.
Yeah, people like to count in terms of screen transitions about routes being fast or slow, but mirror transitions are a lot slower than screen transitions.
Yeah, for sure.
It can be hard to say.
Speaking of screen transitions, looks like Telethar wanted to. Well, I don't know if he was pushed into the old man cave because it doesn't look like he needed health refill. But here we are.
I do see one suspiciously missing heart.
Yeah.
From himself.
Oh my gosh! Look, there's tempered. It's on Spec Rock all along.
Yep, and it's awfully hard to get it since that mirror was so buried.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. We had a very late mirror. You know, actually, so for a late mirror seed, sometimes it actually can get very awkward just in terms of routing because, like, for example, like, it was a Pod Eastern's very classic one is you want to do Pod Eastern together, but it's like you actually can't, right? Because you can't mirror from Pod to Eastern, so you have to make 2 separate trips. So it can, you know, sometimes just be, you know, like a little bit more tedious. You know, maybe you can, like, you have to plan a little bit better, you know, around what you're doing. But I think for this seed, it didn't actually seem that bad. Maybe we didn't really need that mirror all that much. Like, or like the mirror wouldn't have helped us in terms of efficiency.
Yeah. Especially with, like, Hookshot at Saha. I mean, neither of them did Eastern on that same trip, which I found a little bit surprising, but like it was an option. By the way, Relkin's Master Sword Argus fight is crazy. He's like insanely good at it. What he's doing right now is unbelievably hard.
I was gonna say his APM is like through the roof on that fight.
Yeah, easy one cycle. For me, it's like if I can one cycle, it's like a flippin' miracle. And I've seen him do Master Sword Argus where that all the puffs are dead by the time the first like spin
That's crazy.
is over, which is wild.
Is crazy. Relkin, I mean, despite despite is not the correct word because I was gonna say Relkin is an extremely talented NMG runner. So then, like, you kind of expect him to have like very high level execution with Tempered Sword, which he does. But I was gonna, that being said, his Master Sword execution is extremely good. He's probably actually one of the best people with the Master Sword execution. His Master Sword Ganon is extremely consistent. He is like I don't know if you can call him like, you know, like the Master Sword Ganon guy, but like he is definitely one of the highest people for that title's contention.
Yep, he's definitely someone who wishes like
There was no tempered.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because he'd be able to like cash in on that way more. But unfortunately, like the end game for this seed is really, really comfy. So I mean Telethar is probably not gonna die. I don't want to jinx him. But he's probably not gonna die, and his boss kills are gonna be pretty easy. He's gonna be able to use just like normal strats for everything. He's probably not gonna lose that much time to execution, if any.
Yeah, and we actually can see. So for the record, Relkin and Telethar can actually watch each other's streams, see what they can see, where each other are. Telethar, I do think that he does keep tabs on Relkin, and probably vice versa. And like, he did have like the cape out. I don't know necessarily if he thought maybe he was, maybe if he was behind, he needed to play a little bit more aggressively. But like the fact that we have, as you mentioned, half magic and cape, like. And he probably knows that he, has a good amount of buffer. Like, the one thing that Telethar does not want to do ever right now is die. So any amount of, even you sacrifice a couple seconds here and there, so you can guarantee your survival, it's going to be completely worth it. You could dash in the dash room. That is the best possible place. It always oh no. Okay, alright, everything's fine. Okay. Not to bring up any sore points, Telethar may or may not have learned how to get out of Crystal Roller when you're stuck in that chest with the pegs up the hard way. So I think he was prepared for this situation if it ever came up again.
He's gonna have to get a key from Laser Bridge. I wonder if he takes the safety door here, because he should know he's pretty far ahead. A Turtle Rock Death would be a lead change easily.
Oh, 100%. He does. Okay, he has the cape out, and he has 3 hearts.
Okay, nope, he's just gonna game. That's fine.
Okay, alright.
I mean, like I said, he has like the comfy equipment. Oh, okay. Hold on now.
Oh.
He has the comfy equipment for Trinex. So he'll probably be fine.
Everything is fine. We're not powdering here. Telethar is gaming. He didn't catch a fairy, right? In a bottle, like it's just a bee right now, or empty or whatever.
He might have, but
very nice Trinex fight for Telethar. As you mentioned, right, having Tempered Sword, everything's going to be kind of more, I won't say autopilot, but it's just going to be very familiar of a fight.
yeah, and he does it easily. I mean, it's a fight with this equipment he's done probably hundreds of times. You just never know, like sometimes.
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
one little thing could go wrong and could have been the difference, but no, he did just fine.
I did hear that the Ice Rod only has the highest chance of success when you have Tempered Sword and Tempered Sword only. If you're on Master Sword or even Fighter Sword, it just like refuses to work. And then, of course, that's also when you don't have half magic, so you can't really like, recover that well.
Yep.
So
it's true.
very, very glad to see this case again. You guys have Tempered Silvers. And where did you say GT Big Key was?
It's just in Hope Room.
Oh, okay.
So,
okay.
Yeah, we're not far off from the end here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, overall, like, Telethar's route certainly has saved a little bit more time. It seemed to be, probably like the faster one. But I think also his execution in general has been quite good. Like, as in, he has not been, like, Relkin probably needed Telethar to, to have a little bit more of, like, some more mistakes or some more mishaps, but Telethar hasn't really given Relkin any room, to actually, like, let him make up some time. Relkin's been playing very well, himself, but, again, like, when you have 2 people that are this skilled and just playing, in their, like, A game, or, S game, like, it's like, the margin of, the margin of time difference you can basically, give up to one person or another is just very, very little.
Yeah, their execution has both been really, really good. It's just, it's mostly, honestly, the money routing, I think. That was the difference here, and then we also had a slight routing issue in Ice Palace from relkin.
Right.
Not a huge thing, but you know, it adds up.
Yeah. Now, of course, the good news, you know, for both relkin and Telethar, probably more for relkin, well, okay, no, for both of these guys, is that, you know, this is winners semifinals. So double elimination bracket means that they are going to both get at least one more game. So, you know, just because we take, you know, either, you know, relkin or Telethar takes a loss here, it does not mean that their tournament life is done. It just means that they're going to go play in a different set of brackets.
Yes, both of them, I mean, regardless of who wins and who loses here, are completely capable of winning this whole thing. I mean, there's only 4 people left.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that is.
or
people?
no, there's 5, aren't there? Something like that. I don't know.
There's Andy and Gamma. Actually, yeah. So stay tuned. Don't go anywhere after this race. Andy and Gamma are racing at 9:45 or something like that. 9:30, 9:15. One of those. It's basically right after this. And then I think Jammo is also still alive.
Yep. So Jammo will play the winner of that match.
Mm-hmm.
And then the winner of that match will play the loser of this match. And then the winner of that match will play the winner of this match, and that's going to be the finals.
Okay, so it sounds like there are 5 people left. Yes. Yeah. Like kind of the nature of having double elimination bracket towards the end, where basically, so winner semis means that, like, basically just have the winner of this one only has one more match, I think, left.
Yep. Yeah, we're calling it the winners semifinals. That's what it says on challenge, but some tournaments might refer to this as like the winners finals, and then the winner goes to the grand finals.
Oh,
the point is the
yeah.
Only has 1 match left after this.
Okay. All right. Okay. Telethar's getting a little. Okay. This bridge again does not discriminate. You can get frame ruled. Anybody can get frame ruled. Yes, even Telethar and relkin. I actually did see Telethar actually take a little bit of more damage probably in, I think it was G5, or at least it was not expected, but I know, again, this is what all of the blue mail and the hearts and the whatever, I understand these guys have done Gauntlet, GT at this point, hundreds if not probably thousands of times by now. It's always really different when you are, you know, facing, you've got maybe some brace nerves, you're facing, you know, again, in a high level, pretty deep into bracket, you know, match for a tournament, and you're playing someone, you know, extremely good.
Telthar's not even powdering. He like refuses to use powder. Actually, did he skip powder? Maybe he skipped powder. I don't know, because that was in the 2 chest room in Paradox. Maybe he didn't get that.
That would have been a very good time to powder, I will say.
Yeah, relkin definitely got it. Maybe Telethar actually skipped it, and this whole time I've been saying he has it. I'm not sure. But I mean, he can still take like a Ganon death, and he'll be ahead. So.
Yeah, I would kind of maybe expect him to pull out Kate for now, or not. We're just gonna go. It's fine.
He's fine.
Telethar did not invest in the bottom Paradox Cape of Powder. What a gamer.
I guess he said 1 Bombos and a silver arrows and 2 heart containers and an armor was good enough.
Yeah, I guess. Probably when you're like planning out this route, you're just like, man, is this actually spoiler, or am I just actually just playing regular at this point? relkin, his GT climb has been very solid. You see, you know, doing the NMG thing, dropping a couple extra bombs. We don't actually need to do this, but because we have quick swap, but it's still fine. All right.
Yeah, he's made up some time.
Yeah. I was gonna say, so I think, yeah, especially on Moldorm, I think Telethar ended up getting knocked off as well. I don't actually know how consistent or how Telethar feels in this case about his hovering. Like, I do think that he's very capable, as is relkin, to be able to hover the Moldorm 2 gap, but given that Telethar, you know, was ahead probably didn't feel like the need. I think he said before, like if he is maybe within like 10 to 15 seconds or something, then he'll, you know, hover to try and save up some time. But you know, in this case, this was the buffer here is more than that. So
yeah, that makes
just gonna go
sense.
fight.
Like from Telethar's perspective, he just needs to hold on. He doesn't need to
Mhm.
risk anything. And from relkin's perspective, like hovering is not gonna be the thing that wins the race. Probably
Yeah.
he needs
Mhm.
like a big shamble from Telethar. So not surprised that neither of them went for it.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. Okay, everything's fine. Alright, Telethar. I'm not sure what he's intending for Ganon to be. Okay, we're just gonna get some unconventional positions, I guess, because of where the torches are. But it doesn't matter, you know, but Telethar as Ganon defeated. And I mean, overall, very, very well done. You know, very well executed, very well routed. Definitely, you know, has a very well deserved win here in winter semifinals. Big GGs.
Yep, great race. Well played by both of them.
Yeah, yeah. Telethar. You can see the relief, you know, on his face. All right, looks like that is going to be a forfeit from Relkin. Big GG's on Relkin, you know, for Relkin as well. Like he did, you know, again, he played very, very well. Just in this case, you know, Telethar, who we are joined by here today. You know, took the win. GG's.
GG. Yeah, I mean, Relkin in the race room is, you know, not entirely sure what happened. I wasn't watching, but I'm just gonna guess my opening route put me way ahead.
Hello, Relkin. GG's.
Hi.
Hi. Yeah. So I guess maybe.
Yes.
All right. So yeah. So probably like two things. Yeah. So like Telethar. So his opening route was to go to the dam, and go get a sword and Samaria, and then he killed a guard, the arrow guard, to get one bomb into the heated mini Moldorm. And then he got his pearl, and then he did cack.
I cannot believe you decided to go for a Bogard, dude. What the heck? There was no way I was banking on that crap.
I mean, I was just gonna farm it until I got it.
Gosh.
I mean, it's also the locked rocks are on the large variety, so like that also wouldn't be bad to farm. That was sort of like, oh, I can also just do that if I don't get lucky there.
I considered all those options and none of them seemed good, and so I just kind of threw my hands up.
Mm.
I don't get it. I really don't.
I guess for what it's worth, I think like the other major like time difference was probably like how you guys got your Pyramid Fairy money. I'm not well. So okay, Telethar just went to Hype Cave for his like straggling, I don't know, like 50, 70, whatever it was, and then you farmed 20 rupee cave.
Yeah, that wasn't that much time lost farming that rupee cave though. That was minor if anything. Hype Cave probably, you know, saved 20 seconds on it. That's not 2 minutes or whatever the heck it was when I looked to see where I was. Because I looked and I saw that you already had Eastern done. When I first looked, I thought, how the heck did you already be Eastern? And so I thought, oh gosh, maybe he's like trying to metagame me. Like he's thinking, I'm looking at his stream to see where he is. And so he's trying to make me feel nervous or whatever. He's already beaten Eastern, which it worked. So I outthought myself. And it turns out you really had beaten Eastern. I was like, oh my gosh, what in the world did I do wrong? And so I'm just
I didn't do any like cringe fake cracker stuff. That I'm not ever gonna do that. You don't need to worry.
Okay.
Like that's very cringe.
Yeah, I wouldn't either. So
Yeah, I guess another thing that was different was Relkin, you got the hook shot quite a bit earlier than Telethar did. Telethar I don't think got it until after the flute, if I'm not mistaken.
I did not get it till after flute, but I mean, my route was after I got the mitts, I just went straight to Thieves Town, got my cape, and left because I knew I needed to come back for hammer pegs anyway. So I didn't beat Thieves Town there, and then I grabbed boots, went to pod from Dark World there, and grabbed my flute. And then I did Fire Rod, grabbed my hook shot, and then went up the mountain. I don't know how that compares to your route.
I didn't think going to get flute from there was fast. I thought maybe getting hammer would have been time save.
Well, the problem, there's no way, because like you have to flute, or you have to you get hammer, and then you have to run over to pod. Like you have to rescue the old man and then run over to pod, versus just running there from the dark world.
Okay, guess I just really misjudge how long it takes to get to pod.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a seed that really shows my poor estimations of how long it takes to do things. So that sucks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I think right. Yeah, you rescued Old Man to go with the mountain, and Telethar just fluted there. That was, I think, another difference.
That's no. I gathered that. Clear mouse.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, sorry. I mean, but...
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, but yeah. I mean, overall, like, Telethar's route was. I mean, like, he obviously.
That
did
was
very well.
immaculate, apparently. Because gosh, 2 minutes is a lot.
Trying to think in this case what. I mean, like there was just a lot of. I mean, it was also kind of like I think you got maybe the flute a little bit later. Maybe you had a little bit more overworlds. I don't know. It's just little real minor differences that kind of like added up. So.
We were a bit curious, Telethar, when you decided to actually do Eastern Palace. Was it just because of the silvers?
Like, why did I delay it till then, or why did I do it then?
Why did you delay it until you did? Just curious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how much time it really saves to do it from Saha versus with silvers and lamp, like fluting back. Maybe it's probably faster to do it with without silvers, without lamp, but like also it's probably minimal, and I'm not a big fan of doing that dark room.
Sure.
I guess I had fire rod, but nah, I don't know. It just didn't. I didn't really think about it too hard. That was like, I spent a lot of my log time figuring out money.
Yeah, understandable. The money was a huge problem in the seed, it felt like.
Yeah, because I needed enough for pod, and then I was actually kind of upset because I did hype. Like I was like, oh, I'll do hype cave if I still need money. Like I found reasonable money to get for that, but Thieves Town Big Key Chest had a 50 rupees, which I should have gotten instead, since I was, standing next to Compass Chest. But yeah, I was like, money was just the primary focus, so I was like, oh, I can do Eastern at some point, and I didn't actually have it placed until I saw that it had a heart container, and then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna do it before Thieves and Skull.
Sure.
Well, overall, like very, very well done. Also, pretty comfy seed, I will say. You guys got like 1 million safeties in Paradox. I think that maybe eased the nerves up a little bit. Yeah, it looks like. Oh,
Yeah.
actually, did you skip powder, Telethar?
Yeah, I skipped the powder.
Okay. I mean, obviously it's a conscious decision, but like you just didn't feel like you needed it, or.
Yeah. I was at some point I was planning on picking up a fairy from the large variety pack is the rupee groups, and I was expecting to get one in like Eastern or something, but then just I killed all the popos and got nothing. I got like one drop, and I was like, oh, okay, well, never mind.
Okay.
So I wanted to grab a fairy at some point, but like I saw a fairy existed from the rupee crab, and like also from the large variety, and I was like, or from the rupee group, and I'm like, powder's not really. I'll be able to find a fairy elsewhere, and then I failed. But
I mean, you had a bajillion hearts and blue mail anyway, and cape if you needed it. So
cape and late game half magic was free. So
yeah, realistically, you would still be able to play pretty aggressively even without a fairy.
Yeah, my nerves got pretty bad at the end, which I'm upset about. But I guess I had a pretty big lead from the routing.
I mean, well, are you ready to wait a little longer for your winners bracket match finals?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, it's okay.
It's 3 matches. Gamma Andy into Jammo into relkin into
you. Yeah.
Yep.
into finals.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. So Relkin, I guess you're also going to be waiting. Maybe not for that much longer. So Gamma and Andy are playing actually in broadcast time will be 30 minutes from now, but they're going to start at 9:30. So don't go anywhere because they will be playing on this channel. Maybe you can go get a drink or something. But yeah, you'll watch them, and then winner of that match is going to place Jammo. And then the winner of that's going to place you, Relkin, and then maybe we'll see a Relkin Telethar finals rematch. Potentially.
Yeah, hopefully. All good luck, Relkin.
Apparently I need it, because I can't route super complex seeds like this. So, yep, if it's just a seed like this, then I have no idea what to do. So, just no more of those, please. My brain gets super overwhelmed with super unclear answers. So,
We were actually kind of saying, Skelly and I were actually kind of saying earlier during the broadcast where I think there are always going to be seeds where it's going to be, probably more favored for one person or another, towards their strengths. And if this seed, I think, was only Master Sword or something, the whole way through, I think then you also might have an execution edge, especially on Ganon or something. We'll see, we'll see what the randomizer rolls. But
all right. Yeah, all right. I hope I meet you again, Telethar, because that means I beat some god gamer that's waiting, to face me.
Yeah,
you're waiting to face them actually, but yeah.
They're waiting in anticipation to see if they can face me. I don't know.
Yeah.
You get it.
Yeah.
The last 5 people, including yourselves, extremely scary in terms of field strength. So, but it's hopefully you're here to play good competition. But best of luck to you both. Okay. I think that's probably what we'll do it for tonight. Again, don't go anywhere. We are the Gamma and Andy are going to start their match. I think broadcast time is 9:45, so about half an hour from now. And I think Andy's actually wrapping up his Cross Keys tournament match against Furious Magic Game 2. I actually don't know what the status of that race is. So hopefully Andy will, it'll be kind of nice to carry a win into maybe another one, but we'll see. Because Gamma is extremely formidable, and there is no way that Gamma will let him go without a fight. But that's going to be, it's also the rematch of last year's SGL Finals, which Gamma, I believe, did take the victory. So, it should be a very, very exciting match. And the winner of that faces Jammo, and the winner of that faces Relkin, and the winner of that faces Telethar. So until then, keep on this channel. Skelly, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
Yes, as always. And thank you so much, Lady Laura Linda. And of course, thank you so much, Relkin and Telethar. It was a really fun race. Very, 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 very impressive execution and reality.
Thank you for the restream and comms. All right.
All right. Well, thanks all. Okay, yeah, again, don't go anywhere. Just take a break, and then we'll be back soon. All right? Have a great rest of your night.
And tracking.
And tracking.